cannot believe what I just saw. America and the UK have literally bombed Yemen about 11 to 14 more times just about 1 hour ago. Not only that, we also bombed the capital of Yemen. So people who think it's just the Houthis, no. And remember, they made this threat to cut the undersea cables right before we did that. Here's one of the pictures from the airstrikes. Look, we are literally fighting Yemen, Iraq, Syria, which includes Hezbollah, Hamas, anyone against Israel. We are fighting like, dude, this is really, really, really bad. At the same exact time, there's reported explosions happening by our bases in the region of Syria. We are in all-out war right now, and nobody's even saying anything. Well, I forgot to mention, there were 6 missiles leaving Yemen about an hour ago going towards the Gulf of Aden prior to smash down some of our ships or someone that we're allies with. Oh, and by the way, back to the border. Arizona election law may enable non-citizens to vote in 2024 presidential election. You think it stops there? It doesn't. Washington State diverted $340 million in federal funds to immigrant checks. In Biden to prioritize legal status for millions of immigrants. Who is letting all this stuff happen? Oh, and another, by the way, I just saw that China had shot the first artificial intelligence satellite up. I just saw an article yesterday saying that it's going to be AI versus AI in the future. Wow, things happen pretty quick.
This is Yemen, not Ukraine, not Gaza, not World War II, but Yemen. And we Americans are doing this in Yemen. A couple hours ago, we decided to, I say we because every American is responsible for this attack. We decided to hit the Houthis in Yemen, the Houthis. Now, the Yemen Houthis don't like us. The world must prepare to hear of America's defeat. By God, we will burn them all. And they've been sending drones that will explode upon hitting us and missiles at us. The Pentagon has said that we've bombed 10 targets in Yemen. UAV production facilities and IMB warehouses were attacked. According to Al Arabia, the 10 facilities were used to store weapons and train Houthis. And then, about an hour ago, maybe a little bit more, this happened in the West Bank in Israel. A massive explosion. Saudi Arabia's Minister of Foreign Affairs said, the kingdom stresses the importance of maintaining the security and stability of the Red Sea region and calls for restraint and avoiding escalation. While we say the strikes came in response to the illegal, dangerous, and destabilizing Houthi attacks, American and British forces launched strikes against sites belonging to the Houthis supported by Iran. All the while, over 20,000 Palestinians are gone. They've been wiped out by Israel, by America. 134 mosques, churches, Christian churches have been wiped out. Hospitals, wiped out. There's still the war in Ukraine happening as well. But now, we're attacking Yemen. And Russia calls for an emergency session of the UN and is considering using force in Yemen as a violation of the United Nations. What do you guys think about this?
So the White House position on this is carpet bomb. You have full carte blanche to do what you want. Okay, that's the White House position on this. Sending now warships to the Red Sea. So that's the U.S. side of this. What will the Iranian side and the Yemen side, the Houthi side, the Hezbollah side, what will that side look like over the next week to 2 weeks?
Well, I mean, Yemen has pretty much made a decision that it's all in. It is going to do what it can do to support the people of Gaza. And what it's doing is amazing from a geopolitical standpoint. They have shut down the Red Sea to Israeli maritime traffic, shut it down. It's costing Israel billions of dollars, and it's disrupting global commerce. I mean, there is a meaningful impact to what Yemen has done here in terms of shutting down, ships transiting the Red Sea. The United States right now is desperately trying to come up with a solution. But let me just make it clear: we don't have the military force capable of handling this problem, and it's stupid to pretend that we do. We got a carrier battle group. That's it. What can it do? Drop bombs. Yemen's been bombed by American planes and American bombs since 2014. You suddenly think they're going to be intimidated because a couple dozen American airplanes flown by American pilots are be dropping the bombs? Two, we have no idea how to do, the targeting of relocatable targets, mobile relocatable targets. That's the Yemeni missile systems, etc. I played a role in that during the Gulf War. We sucked then, we suck now. We don't know how to do it. We can't do it. We're going to have zero impact. What we're going to do is empower the Yemenis to, maybe get that 1 in a million shot in, or 1 in 1,000 shot, or 1 in 100. We don't know what the odds are, and sink an American aircraft carrier. Merry Christmas, Joe Biden. You just took, and look, let's be frank about it. The American aircraft carrier is a legacy system dating back to the Second World War. It has no genuine military role today other than deterrence. The perception that it is this, powerful symbol of American power projection. But that symbol is gone when it's sunk. When you put the Dwight D. Eisenhower under the water, 5,000 to 7,000 dead Americans. That's what's at risk here. Why? Because we don't have the courage to tell Israel, stop. This could all end today if we imposed on Israel the requirement for a ceasefire. Pick up the phone, Joe Biden, and tell Bibi not another American dime will go your way if you continue this war one more hour. The war's over at that point because Israel can do nothing without American aid. Show the courage. Instead, what Biden is doing is putting all of American national security at risk, indeed global security, because you're not going to beat the Yemenis. You're going to empower them. Therefore, we're going to become more and more desperate. Israel is going to be more and more desperate. They're talking about expanding the conflict against Hezbollah. Israel, newsflash, you can't beat Hamas. You're not going to beat Hezbollah. They're 10 times more prepared. They have 100 times more powerful weaponry, and they have a plan to take northern Israel. If you want to lose the Galilee, go into a full-scale war with Hezbollah. And then what's America going to do? Intervene? Again, Hezbollah has been receiving Israeli bombs American bombs dropped by American-made airplanes for decades. They're not intimidated by anything America can bring to bear. And if America brings enough to bear, now we bring in the Iranian problem.
So that's what I want to get to next is the Iranian problem. I want to get that's the other big piece of this. I wanted to show you a tweet that Modad Geopolitics tweeted yesterday, and his thread has been really interesting on this, and get your take. He says, the Iranian strategy is to present the United States with a choice of either backing down in the Gaza war, thereby humiliating Israel and the U.S. and showing that the Zionist project is no longer viable, or fighting Iraq, Syria, Yemen, Lebanon, Gaza, and even Iran itself simultaneously. And he says the U.S. can cause enormous damage, but it cannot win a full-scale Middle Eastern war in multiple countries. Do you agree with that or disagree?
I agree with that. First of all, the U.S. can't cause immense damage anymore. You need bombs. We've given all our bombs away. There's only so many targets you can bomb, and there's only so many bombs that you can bring to bear on targets. But what will happen? First of all, the Houthi have said straight up that if they're attacked, and Saudi Arabia plays a role in any of this, they will eliminate Saudi Arabia's oil production potential. Just think about what I just said. They'll destroy Saudi Arabian oil production. They'll destroy UAE, United Arab Emirates, oil production. Now, Iran has pretty much said the same thing. If we get involved in this fight, this flight will destroy the global economy, especially the Western economy. Biden needs to wake up to the reality that America simply cannot impose its will on this problem. This is a problem bigger than America. We don't have the military capacity to prevail in this conflict. Yes, we can drop bombs in a lot of places. We will lose everything in the Middle East, everything in the region, because there's not a military facility in that region that is missile proof. And Iran has a lot of missiles, and they will bring death and destruction down on the Americans like they haven't seen since the Second World War. And then what? Now we're in a regional conflict. Can we throw cruise missiles at Tehran? Yeah. But to what end? Because Tehran will destroy everything we have in the region. And then where are we? We don't have the ability to invade Iran. We can't do it. You could mobilize the entire American military capability today. We can't invade Iran. We don't have the ability. So to what end are we getting in this war?
The US is now at war after a group from Yemen attacked the US. So Yemen has been targeting the US Army, Navy ships, and commercial ships in the Red Sea for the past 2 weeks. They did this by using helicopters to take over ships and launching missiles at commercial ships. This has caused the US to form a military team with the United Kingdom and various countries to protect commercial ships at sea. However, Yemen's Houthi group also decided to attack this team that were in the area, and the US military were hit by Yemen after attempting to protect ships in the Red Sea. Now, the US military has decided to airstrike Yemen, calling a full-on war. Just this Friday, 28 locations and more than 60 people were struck by the US after Yemen decided to not call peace. The US has also sent out a warning to ships and vessels in the Red Sea, telling them to steer away from Yemen. Now that the US has struck Yemen, they're now expecting Yemen's Houthi group to strike back against the US, and this situation seems like it might escalate even more. Additionally, the US has made a statement today saying, "We will make sure that we respond to the Houthis if they continue this outrageous behavior along with our allies." And because of this, people are saying this situation might cause a bigger war.